here at the Long Beach Progressive International Motorcycle Show. And right now what we're going to do is we're going to head over to Zero Electric Motorcycles booth. The big question for them is, can these new electric motorcycles actually be viable as a daily ride? Well, we're going to head over there now and find out.
We've launched 3 entire new model generations in just a little over a 2-year period, starting with our 2011 line, which had a number of significant improvements and upgrades, to 2012, to the bikes that you see here before you now, which are at the leading edge in terms of range, performance, styling, and the relationship between the customer and the product, which I'll get into in just a minute.
So in 2010, we were doing in the city about 40 miles. We're now doing about 140 miles. So yeah, it's come a long ways. The battery capacity has increased from around 3.5 kilowatt hours to about 11.4 kilowatt hours. That's the top capacity on the Zero S. The power that we're making, we used to make about 20 horsepower or so. We're now making 54 horsepower. From a torque standpoint, we were around 40 foot-pounds of torque, and now we're closer to 70 foot-pounds of torque. So everything on the bike has gotten better. It's much improved. From a range standpoint, yeah, like I said, 140 miles in the city. You get about 70 miles on the highway going 70 miles an hour. So if you just get on the highway and you get on 70 miles an hour, you'll do about 70 miles. So that's also improved. So the efficiency that you get on the highway and how far you can go on the highway has also improved.
For 2013, Zero's has 5 completely new motorcycles in the line. Some of them are massive upgrades over previous models. We have 1 completely new model here, starting with the yellow S model here down in front of us. New features for this year, we have our own proprietary patent-pending design motor that's in the bike. We doubled the horsepower this year. We increased the torque significantly in the bike this year. The bike is a real animal. There's a couple of reviews out on it so far by Mr. Alan Cathcart. He describes the power characteristic as muscular on this bike, and it really is. It accelerates very hard. It's unlike any electric bike we've ever had in the line. Very much comparable to any 600 sport bike that you've ever ridden. Next we have the DS over here, the sister bike to it. Designed as you would be for a dual sport, more upright seating position, longer travel suspension, spoke wheels, same power plant in it, same battery layout in it. We've really improved the battery chemistry in our products this year. We've gotten to much more robust battery cell technology. We've increased the range. We have world-class leading range in terms of the range of the bikes, 137 miles of range on either of these 2 bikes. Pretty phenomenal compared to where it was just a couple of short years ago. In addition to the S, the DS model, we have 3 new models in our MX family, starting with our MX model over here on the left. We've gone full size this year with the wheels, 18 rear, 21-inch front, 54 horsepower, comparable to any open-class motocross bike on the market today. 54 electric 100% torque at 1 revolution horsepower in this bike. Very, very impressive to ride. And the rest of the bikes in the line benefit from the same thing. The Zero FX, all new for this year. This bike here is really our, what we describe as an inner city hooligan bike or trail bike, however you want to, wherever you want to ride it. This bike has phenomenal response, up to 60 miles per hour in 3.9 seconds. It will wheelie if you just look at the throttle. It'll practically wheelie over backwards on you. It's unbelievably fun to ride. The acceleration out of this bike, the way that it hits, the way that it performs is just shocking. Finally, down here over the right, the XU. This is our entry-level model. It's an inner-city commuter bike. Great for beginners, people just starting out, people who are looking for basic transportation, people that are just looking to have a fun ride to get them around town. The XU receives all the benefits of all the technology and all the things that Abe's teams have been working on with our new motor, our new battery technology, all of the other things that go into it. It's really a phenomenal bike.
But I got to say a 40 or 45 mile commute to work. If I take this to work and plug it in, do I have enough to take the highway all the way back?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're going to be at work for 8 hours, then perfectly, right? So this, if you just plug into any 110 or all the way to 220, I mean, it doesn't matter what voltage, if the bike figures out the voltage, you just plug it in, and it takes from full empty to 100%, it takes about 8.5 hours. So if you were riding 40, 50 miles of a combined city highway type range, you get, maybe you'd consume about half of the pack, so it'd take you about 4 hours to get it back, all the way to the top. So that wouldn't be a difficult commute at all on these bikes.
So now if I'm using this, not just to get to work, but like some people do, I'm going out, we're going to do a ride somewhere, and we want to hit some canyon roads, have a little fun. How do I keep this going all day?
Yeah, what's really exciting this year, we have a variety of ways to charge the motorcycle. There's the onboard charger that's on the motorcycle, it's about 1.3 kilowatts of power for charging. And that's the one that's the slowest charging, that takes you about 8.5 hours from 0 to 100%. We also can enhance charging with additional off-board chargers that we sell for your home or your office. So by adding up to 4 chargers, you can get that down to about 2 hours from 0 to 100%. And finally, we sell especially in Los Angeles and throughout the U.S., but in Los Angeles it's starting, in Northern California you're seeing it as well, DC fast charging, so public infrastructure for charging. The beauty of DC fast charging is that you're going straight into the battery. You're bypassing the onboard charger, going straight to the battery, and then it's just the capacity of charging of the cells that's the limit there. Since these cells can be charged individually in an hour or less, the whole pack can be charged in an hour or less. So if you have the DC fast charging kit, the Chademo kit, you can plug into a DC fast charger and you can charge in less than an hour from 0 to 95% in less than an hour.
One of the coolest things that Zero is really doing, and really we see our mission is to really change the future of motorcycling. The way the motorcycle works, the way the motorcycle performs, the experience that you have when you ride in a motorcycle, especially an electric motorcycle, is unlike anything that you've ever experienced before. The effortless motion, the torque, the sensation of acceleration with no sound, it's almost like a magic carpet ride as close as you can get to it. We're really pushing the envelope in terms of the way the motorcycle performs. These aren't different motorcycles, they're better motorcycles in many ways. They're more core, more pure to the experience of motorcycling, more pure to the sensation you get from riding a motorcycle. This is what Zero's really focusing on. And if that's not enough, one thing that Zero's doing in addition to that is really changing the game and the way the consumer has his relationship or his experience with the motorcycle.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work in suspension tuning and the entire ride quality of the motorcycle. We used to have, back in 2010, they were chain driven, and because these bikes are so quiet in every other respect, the chain was pretty annoying. I mean, chains don't sound good, right? And if you don't have engine noise masking the chain, then you're going to hear that. So all of these bikes are now, all the street bikes are belt driven, and it's a high tension carbon fiber belt. So we have a direct drive system where we go straight from the output shaft of the motor to the rear wheel. Direct connection. And that's a high tension belt that's connecting 2 of them, right? So as soon as you give a gas, there's an intimate connection between your wrist and the rear wheel. And there's no lash, there's absolutely no delay in communicating that power to the rear wheel. And it's maintenance free. There's no adjustments, there's no lubing, and there's no noise.
You can actually tune these new motorcycles with your phone, and we'll be happy to give you a demonstration of that later. But the technology that's gone into the development of this is nothing short of phenomenal, and certainly groundbreaking in terms of motorcycle technology. And we're really proud to be the innovators, the one to bring this to market first. Not only will all of the control systems, the electronic systems and everything are monitored, but we can upload the information to our tech centers to diagnose problems remotely. You can tune the torque curve, the amount of regen and the braking on the bike, the top speed under Eco, it's tunable just through your phone. And there's a whole wealth of other information. Your phone can actually become your dashboard if you want, depending on how you set it up. It's really quite interesting, and we see this as really the revolution that's really going to propel electric motorcycles in the future. The socialization process that comes through this, the sharing of things that have gone into it, it's nothing short of phenomenal what this is going to unleash. I guarantee you the ice bikes will catch up with us here shortly, but we're proud to say that we're the first to market with this.
What's going to be the cost per mile on something like this?
It's about a penny a mile. Right, 1 cent a mile. So if you have a 40-mile commute, you're doing about 40 cents or 50 cents, a day. So it's great. It's fantastic. I mean, it's not even a consideration. There's absolutely no maintenance, no scheduled maintenance on any of the parts of the motorcycle except for brake pads, like every other bike, and tires. So brake pads and tires are really your only concern. That's not a lot.
And what's the expected lifespan of the battery packs?
Great question. So this battery goes a full from empty to full charging cycle. So if you drain your battery every day to nothing and you charge it, to 100%, if you did that 2,500 times, you'd be at 80% of the original capacity of the battery, right? So if you're getting a bit over 100 miles, if you have a combined city highway commute and you're getting around 100 miles per charge, well, that's 250,000 miles of battery life to 80%. You still have 80% of the original capacity. So really, bottom line, it's life of bike, battery longevity. It's nothing really to worry about.
20 years from now, you're going to see them everywhere on the road. And I'm really proud to say that Zero Motorcycles is playing a major role in making that a reality.